Welcome, friends, to the Fashionista Life podcast. I am your host, Jennifer Johnson. My friends, if you found yourself here, it may mean that you're looking for courage, clarity, or confidence in some part of your life. Or maybe you just want to be entertained, and hey, that's great as well. Friends, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we welcome into the studio Stephen Calakos. He is the education director at Gulfshore Playhouse right here in Naples.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thank
It's so happy to actually have you here in studio.
This is awesome. This is so cool. What a great setup.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, you received your BA in elementary education and theater, and you taught school in New Jersey for 11 years.
That is correct.
And on top of that, you served as artistic director for several theater organizations, and you are also a professional actor, singer, model, and you have national credits behind your name. That is so cool. So I want to actually talk about that before we talk about anything else.
Okay.
So what have you done? Like not what have you done, but how did teaching for 11 years, and what did you teach, by the way?
So I started out teaching fourth grade. I taught fourth grade for 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I taught middle school math and STEM.
Oh, math.
I know. I pretended I was a math guy for a little bit.
Math.
I loved it. I loved it because it challenged me, and I love teaching STEM. But being an arts guy, it was always STEAM, not STEM. I always added the art to that. And then I taught high school theater for 2 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what led you from your teaching career to, were you modeling and acting at the same time?
I started in college.
Okay.
I went to a fashion show call for like the local hospital, and one of the judges ended up being an agent from an agency in Philadelphia, and she said I reminded her of a family member and wanted to meet with me, and I was like, okay, I know nothing about this world, but it kind of propelled me to do a lot more. So I did a lot of commercial work. I did runway. I started off doing a lot of wedding fashion shows.
So what did you do for that? I'm just curious. Tuxes.
Yeah, it was tuxedo. There was always the same music that played every show.
Of
and
course.
It was like started with Chris Brown. It was like
word.
That whatever that song was in the gum commercial, like the double mint.
Oh my
commercial.
God. I'm so bad with that. Like I would never know, but I think I know what you're talking about.
It always
double mint twins.
Yeah, it always started with that song. So like it just became routine after a while. And then the runway shows for bridal shows, they kind of went away. They weren't as popular anymore. But then I started doing more commercials.
What was your biggest thing you've ever done in that space?
In Philadelphia, I'm from South Jersey, so the Philly area. So Eagles country for those of you who watch sports. Sorry.
Here we go.
I'm from Philadelphia, so we're
Do I have the cricket button?
I know.
I need the cricket button.
We really crapped the bed this year. So the biggest jobs I had there, I was in 2 national commercials, one for Avis and one for like an insurance commercial, kind of like the General, but not. Where I had friends in California, Chicago. Somebody was at a Yankees game and saw me on the
oh my gosh
screen. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, those were fun. Those were fun to film. So I've gotten to do some stuff, and I have an agent down in Tampa and an agent right here in Naples as well.
So you're still working in that realm as well.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, any chance I get. I actually just filmed a movie.
Oh my gosh. Tell. I know we're taking a completely different route, but that's okay. I want to know. Can you talk about it?
I can. Yeah. I mean, I didn't sign an NDA.
Oh, now I know where you were. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Talk. Okay. I need to know.
So yes, I haven't seen you for a few weeks.
Now we have to dish about this.
And that's why. So it's a Lifetime movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I auditioned. I sent in my video audition. And they liked me, and so I am the subplot of the movie. So like there's the main plot of the movie, which is sort of like my best friend's wedding.
Oh my gosh, another wedding. Is it my big fat Greek wedding?
It's not anything Greek.
You guys, you've not met him, but he is definitely Greek.
Yes, I am. My wife is Greek, and we have family in Greece and the whole thing. Yes. So yes, it's like my best friend's wedding, except I think the ending is more like what the audience wants to happen.
Sure.
And then I am like the subplot that actually is more believable than the primary plot of the movie. My name's Billy Joe.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe, and I deliver tomatoes to this girl that I secretly have loved for 10 years every Wednesday morning.
Oh my.
So that's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But it will premiere either June or July.
Oh my God. Where was it filmed?
In Miami.
Oh my God, that is so cool. You're a celebrity. Yay. There'll be more to come because once Lifetime loves you, they're going to.
Well, I hope they love me.
Yeah.
I do. My goal, I'd die a happy man if I could be in a Lifetime Christmas movie.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Or
we
Hallmark,
eat that up.
Or Hallmark.
Or Hallmark. Yeah, either one.
I'm that one that rips the out of a magazine. They'll tell the whole schedule of all the holiday movies. And then I'm on my thing recording them all.
Yeah, it's nuts. They come out with like 30 movies a year.
I know.
It's wild.
It is. So, and it's never that one with Kelly Pickler that I always want to watch. I can never get it. Probably. I don't know what it's called.
And then they came out with a sequel too.
I just can never seem to.
You think I watch it?
Maybe
for
so.
2 months out of the year, it's on our TV nonstop.
Funny. Well, that is so cool. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm in education, but I need my own creative outlets too. I think that's important.
So, is that your dream someday to ultimately make that your? Or
I don't know. Being married. My ultimate dream has to include my wife somehow, whatever she wants to do. But she's my biggest advocate. She's my biggest supporter. So I think anything that I would want to do, and I'm not a risk taker, actually.
Oh, that surprises me.
She is. I was a teacher for 11 years in the same district that I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
I taught in.
So stability.
Stability. Yes. My parents taught me stability. But I'm also artistic and creative, and there's not a lot of stability in that, traditionally. So I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens, and keep challenging myself and teaching my experiences to the students that I work with.
So now let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So at Gulfshore Playhouse here in Naples, are you primarily is it primarily for the children, or are you their director of education across the board? How does that?
Sure. So my role is to oversee all of the education programs, right?
Okay.
So we have students starting at 9 months old.
Wow.
Yeah. With our Broadway Babies classes.
I love it.
Yeah.
What do you do with babies?
Oh man, it's a lot of introduction to percussion and to sound and movement.
Loud banging.
Yeah. If that's what you think, that's what you associate with, yes.
Drums.
A lot of Disney.
Of course.
Yes. And then we have adult tap dance classes that are going on right now, actually, every Thursday.
Wow.
Yes. So, and we have, senior, most of those students are senior citizens. But ultimately, I work directly with the teens and upper elementary and middle school students. And then I have a full staff who work with students as well. So we offer all kinds of programming in schools, at our theater, and we're building a brand new theater right now.
It's going to be gorgeous. When is it proposed to be done?
We should be able to walk in the building this time next year.
Okay.
And our full season will start next September of 24.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So it's going to be a game changer for Naples, for not only just for downtown Naples and Naples itself and Naples proper, but all of Collier County and Southwest Florida. I mean, this is a full-time professional regional theater. Our hope is to be a Tony Award winning theater. Where we have strong education, but we'll have a whole wing just dedicated to education. So classrooms, rehearsal spaces, and we want to bring in new works that will hopefully transfer to Broadway.
And it's a beautiful facility. You cannot miss it. It's on a main road in town. But if I were just who I am, can I come take classes and learn how to be or potentially do some acting in town here?
Yes, that is the goal.
Okay.
Because right now we operate out of a city-owned arts building, and I mean we're breaking at the seams. We don't have the space for what we want to do and how we want to grow. So once we have the classrooms, we're going to offer classes throughout the day. I mean, we're talking about lecture series. We're talking about acting classes. Even yoga classes, or like painting with wine, all of these different.
Painting with wine.
Yeah, who doesn't love to paint and drink?
I don't know.
Right?
I don't drink, but if I did.
We'll offer non-alcoholic beverages too.
Right. Okay, that's good.
But all themed to theater and Broadway and to Naples because, we are not, I mean, we are a professional theater, but we're also part of the community and we want it to be community friendly. We want people to come in and we're going to have a full service bar and cafe in our
That's
lobby.
cool.
And we'll have a full-time staff that's there. And so you can just walk in, have a cup of coffee and hang out in the theater.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool. So you moved here for this position.
That is correct. Yes.
So how long have you been
I
in
told you I'm
Naples?
not a risk taker.
You're not.
And this
Wow.
was a risk. So once I started teaching high school, I realized I did not want to be a principal. I thought that would have been my next step. And then I thought to myself, well, I don't think I can be in a classroom traditionally for another 30 years. It wasn't for me. Education is a huge part of who I am, but I wanted to reach more students and just have a bigger impact somewhere. Even though I loved my students and grew very close to the families that I worked with for 11 years in New Jersey. And then I thought, okay, theater, I have 2 degrees, one in theater, one in education. I'm going to look for a director of education position. So I was looking in, this is also, mind you, 2018, 2019.
Right.
All right. So I was looking in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware, and Florida, because Florida is really saturated with theater. And I found Gulfshore Playhouse and I had an interview over Zoom. I'd never been on Zoom before. Zoom was so new to me.
Great.
I had an interview. I'm like, what is Zoom? Everyone was telling me, turn off your camera. And if their camera is on, then you put your camera on. I'm like, okay, I don't know these rules. All right, fine. So they had their camera on. And then they flew me down to Naples for my second interview. And I thought, oh my God, where am I? This place is beautiful.
Oh my gosh, right?
There's nothing like Naples, Florida in the country.
There's not.
And so then I got hired and my start date was April 20th, 2020.
Oh, and we know yes.
And I left my job at the beginning of a pandemic to move down to Naples. But you know what? It was a blessing because every other job that I looked at in the Northeast, those theaters were shut down.
Yeah.
And Gulfshore Playhouse remained open because we had the resources and we have such a supportive community and board that kept us in business. We went from a staff of maybe 20 down to like 8 or 9. It was like 90% of our staff, something crazy. And now we're a staff of about 50.
Wow.
3 years later.
And so cool.
Continuing to build.
That is so amazing. And you found your perfect position.
Yes.
Really, because it's combining your education that you love with your theater and your creativeness.
This was my dream job.
That is so awesome.
I'm having a blast and meeting so many cool people like you. And it's just a beautiful community. No, you're pretty cool.
That's so wonderful. That's awesome. So now I have a really interesting question for you, kind of off topic, but not. If you could do anything in the whole world, and I'm not talking you can't move to Greece to retire. Okay, that's off the table. I'm sorry. What would it be and why?
All right. Well, I already talked about being in a Christmas movie on
Hallmark. Well, you kind of we spoiled it already, didn't we?
Put that out in the No, I mean
you're gonna manifest it and it will
happen.
happen.
Manifest it.
That's how it works.
But even bigger, I now have a taste of it. I did commercial work and now film work and now it would be cool to dream bigger and for something like that to happen. And I'll just let the stars align and continue to grow myself artistically and creatively. So yeah, I would say that to be in a big blockbuster film would be really cool.
That would be awesome.
I would also love to travel the world. My wife has this, and I agree with her, and I'll steal her dream too. She has this goal to just travel the world and eat spaghetti bolognese in every country.
Just to compare.
Just to compare. Yes. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take you up on that. I'll go with you.
I love it. I like that idea because I go around, not that I travel around the world a lot, but chocolate chip cookies. Because that's my thing.
Yes.
And I have everywhere I go.
What's your favorite chocolate chip cookie? Do you have like
the
a
ones
favorite?
I make?
You've
had them.
I did.
Maybe you have.
On a bus.
I think you have.
On
On the bus. So, but I just my favorite. But we all have our thing. I like her idea.
Love that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Is your closet overflowing, or maybe your kids' closets are as well, or maybe you just want to redecorate your home? If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, bring it all to True Fashionistas or even ship it to them for free, and they'll sell your unwanted items for you. They take away all the hassle by doing all the work, and all you have to do is sit back and collect your money. You can reach them online at truefashionistas.com. Come into the store or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and that's truefashionistas.com. All right, friends, we are back in the studio with Stephen Calakos of Gulfshore Playhouse and famous model and actor.
Okay, locally famous.
Okay.
Locally.
Well, maybe not for too long.
We'll see.
Maybe by the time this airs,
Yeah.
So we chatted a lot about your background and that you were in education and now theater. I want to talk about what theater can do for kids. I think it's something that a lot of people don't think about a lot and maybe don't put as much credit to as they should.
No, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I often think while I'm watching TV or I hear music playing in a park somewhere, and I think, what would the world be like without art? And it's a very grim picture because everything we see, everything we do, everything we experience has some type of visual or performing art element attached to it.
Mhm.
And so my world is theater. And what better way to reflect life than to see something live on stage teaching you a lesson?
Mhm.
And so I try to instill that in the students that I teach at Gulfshore Playhouse. Theater arts provides a lot of lifelong, I would say, not only provides life lessons, but lifelong lessons.
Mhm.
Not only do I teach performative skills, but also we offer technical classes. So our students work with our full-time professional technical theater
Mhm.
production team members. And so, I've seen students not ever hold a wrench before, and I've seen them holding a wrench for the first time, trying to adjust a light, and they don't know how to work a wrench.
Mhm.
And, these are teenagers.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yes, this is what theater does. It's not
Mhm.
just performing on stage, but it's also learning these skills that you need to have to
Right.
to be a successful
Mhm.
adult.
Right.
So it's a wide spectrum of skills learned in theater arts, and that's why I think they should be taught.
Right. It's a lot of life skills,
Absolutely.
including working with other people and being part of a team
Yes.
that a lot of times they may not have had that chance.
That's a good point. All my life I played sports.
Mhm.
Played baseball when I was younger, and then I played soccer and tennis. And you do learn a lot about teamwork and how to work with other people through that. But theater teaches you something that sports don't teach, and that's empathy.
Mhm.
When you're playing a
Yeah.
sport, you really don't care about your opponent's
Right.
feelings
Right.
or what they're thinking, or where they're going after, and what trauma they've
Mhm.
experienced or what exciting things are happening in their life. No, your goal is to just win.
Right.
And theater, put yourself in somebody else's. It allows you to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and you experience more universal themes that way, and
Mhm.
understand the universe and the
Right.
world better that way through theater.
And even like being in a play or whatever, they're learning to take on another character, which can open their mind to so many things.
Yes,
Because if you
absolutely.
just see it how you see it, if you can see it from somebody else's shoes and take on that character, it helps round them, I feel like. And my kids have never been involved in theater. One's very academic and one just wants to work, which I don't have an issue with that, but it just opens your mind to a different world.
Sure. And think about the careers that are out there that you wouldn't think are art related. You
Mhm.
think about engineers, you think about electricians, you think about plumbers, you think about, a lot of trade jobs, or also, consider computer engineers,
Mhm.
software engineers. There has to be an element of creativity to anything that you do. And the way that you experience that is through being exposed to the arts.
Mhm.
Now, I'm proud of the school district here
Mhm.
in Collier County, because they have put forth a huge effort in introducing theater to all middle schools and all high schools. Gulfshire Playhouse is one of the sponsor organizations in town. where we are going into schools and working with teachers and working with students and building and enhancing their theater arts
awesome.
programs. So my goal is to get into the elementary schools because
Mhm.
that was my first passion.
Because that's where it starts.
It's a feeder program. And once you hook those kids and, you know, they sort of get bitten by the theater bug,
that bug,
and it doesn't go away. There's something about performing in front of an audience and
yes,
getting
there
that
is.
feedback from them that motivates you, and you know, you want to do more.
Right. That's why I was meant to be a singer. You don't want to hear me sing, but I'm like, I can picture it. I can picture it.
Did you sing when you were younger?
Never, and I stink at it. I'm horrible. You do not want to hear me sing. But like, I envision myself doing that.
Sure.
I can't manifest it because I don't have a voice, but you're right. There's something about that gives them confidence.
Yes. And public speaking. Public speaking is a huge part of theater.
It is.
And if you can't effectively speak in front of just one other person, let alone hundreds of people, you know, how can you communicate your feelings?
Right.
How can you communicate your motivation, your goals to either your significant other or colleagues? You know, you need to be able to do that. And so just being exposed to theater at a young age allows you to understand those skills, and they just stick with you for life.
It's like a foundational building block.
Absolutely.
Really of their
right. And
their
I'm
life.
not discrediting sports. I think sports are important, but I also think theater arts are just as important. I don't think as a society we tend to think that they are as a whole, unless you are in that world. It's kind of like education. You really don't know what it's like to be a teacher unless you're in front of a class for 10 months plus, you know, and having to not just teach standards, but dealing with all of the social emotional learning as well.
Sure. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you a couple speed questions.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right. Ready?
Go.
What's your favorite movie or TV show?
Parks and Rec.
Oh, I've never seen it.
What?
I know, right? Oh, I live under a rock.
Did you ever hear the phrase "treat yourself"?
No.
Oh. Well, it's not. I mean, it's been around, but like it was made famous.
Oh my
Parks and Rec.
I'm so behind.
You gotta treat yourself.
I just started watching. Oh well, you gotta treat yourself.
Yeah.
I just started watching a show called How to Get Away with Murder.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Is it good? I mean, it's popular.
It's old.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
it ended.
Yeah. So
a lot of people watched it.
I watch it after the fact. So you know, I'll probably get to Parks and Rec like in 10 years. I'm not sure. Favorite model, acting, or singing thing that you've ever done? I know we kind of touched about something at the beginning, but I'm including singing and because you can do all. You're like a triple threat.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
Dance. I'm not. I can move.
Oh no, not dance.
But dance. I'm all right. I can listen. You put some Greek music on.
Oh, good Lord!
Here we go. Some Greek folk dancing. No, I'm not a trained dancer, but I can move well. I would say my favorite. I would say most symbolic. Can I say that?
Perfect.
I was on a reality show.
Oh my gosh, it never ends with you, does it? Oh, that's so cool. What? Okay, what
in
is
2007 on NBC called Grease, You're the One That I Want.
I think I remember talking to you about this. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So it was to find the Danny and Sandy and the most recent revival on Broadway. And so I was in college. I had no professional experience to my name. And I went to New York. I auditioned. They liked me. They sent me to California. I competed even more over there and faced some elimination rounds. And I ended up being the youngest guy left. So there were 12 guys and 12 girls. And then I was cut.
You lived and you learned.
Yes, I did. And that proved to me, honestly, that experience proved to me that, you know, maybe community theater isn't the end for me. You know, maybe I can do this professionally. And I did. After college, I performed professionally in Philadelphia, and then it was the recession. So,
and look at you now.
My stability.
Whoop, whoop.
Right. Yes. Lifetime now. But I had to be stable and have that stability. And so I started teaching, and now I'm able to do both.
We all have a journey, and the journey finds us sometimes.
Love that.
So
do you have that written down somewhere?
I don't. I just came up with it. But it's true.
Yes.
The journey finds you when it's the right time.
I love that.
Nothing happens before it's ready. So
you need to write that down. You need to sell that.
I just sell that.
Brand that. Copyright that. Trademark it.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. If our listeners would like to get a hold of you, where can they do that? Or if they want to, hire you for their next movie or
Oh,
modeling gig or singing or
well,
whatever it is.
I have my own personal website,
Okay.
stephencalakos.com, but you can also, for any of our educational offerings, and even to see quality professional theater here in Southwest Florida, you can go to gulfshoreplayhouse.org.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thank you, friends, for joining me today and every week here on The Fashionista Life, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive, head to my website, thefashionistalife.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletters where we take a deeper dive each week into a new topic. Have a fabulous day.